Hi guys, this is Shannon from Reptile Way and we've got a beautiful guest Gimli today, and we're going to be doing a little video about something that's quite common. However, if it is sort of a bit too far gone, there's not a lot of, comparative videos or comparative pictures out there. So this video is going to be all about what happens when your bearded dragon has really bad stuck shed, in particular in the nostril region, and what you can do to help that. And there's a few steps you can do, but if it's a bit too far gone, like what it was with Gimli's, she had a really blocked nostril and we had to take her to the vets. So let's dive into this video. Okay, so you can see with Gimli here, she has a lot of stuck shed over that nostril area, and it is quite a thick amount of skin there. There are lots of YouTube videos out there to help remove stuck shed, but there was nothing that was really like Gimli's condition. So I did struggle a bit trying to find this content and what was the right thing to do. But anyway, before we get to that, how you can assist your dragon to shed. So first of all, making sure you've placed rough materials in their enclosure, so like rocks and logs. Make sure they have the appropriate enclosure set up, so you can check out our bearded dragon care guide video, as well as making sure they've got the correct diet and nutrient supplements. And again, we've got a video dedicated solely to the bearded dragon's diet. So make sure you've got all of that right. But even getting all of that right, there is still a chance you could end up in Gimli's situation with stuck shed. So how can you actually combat this stuck shed? There are a few methods. You can use bathing and using a moist compress and sort of dab the area where the stuck shed is. You can use misting, so put water in a spray bottle and make sure the water is around 30 degrees, that sort of temperature, so it's nice and warm, and spray them around the affected area. You can use a shedding aid like tweezers. Make sure the tweezers are disinfected though. And you can also use oil, so like coconut oil, Vaseline. You can apply it with a cotton bud and sort of rub it in with the cotton bud and try sort of loosen up that skin or debris. So there are a few little methods. With Gimli here, we've got her trying the bath, and we did use bathing, dripping the water on her nose area. We used a moist compress, we used misting, so we misted every single day, maybe a couple times a day, and we bathed every day to every second day, and did this for over a week to see if it would loosen up, and trying the tweezer approach as well, and it was just not coming loose. But by the end of it, she did start to enjoy the bath. She got nice treats. She was jumping into the bath because it was a bit of a cooler day, so I think she quite liked the temperature of it. But there's her good nostril in comparison to the nostril that was blocked. And you can see she wouldn't be able to breathe through that nostril, so we really did need to get it sorted out immediately, as they do breathe through their nose. Yes, she did have the other nostril, but we didn't want to just leave it up to that. So off to our local vets, and go to a vets that has reptile experience. So if you're in the Darwin area, I recommend this one. And we're waiting in the vets. Gimli was in a nice travel box, and it's not too bad waiting at the vets. You see cute pets. This dog was adorable. Dip was not a fan of that cone on its head. But the vet was kind enough to take my phone behind with Gimli to video them sort of unblocking her nostril, and you can see that thick layer of skin that they managed to get that was blocking the nostril, and there was a bit of sort of dead skin and stuff inside the nostril. But there's her once she sort of got everything out of her nostril. There was one little bit that the vet said to keep an eye on that was still lodged further down in there. But we brought her favourite little treat, and again, this is an occasional treat. She rarely gets this because she's on a diet, but it was a bit of an unpleasant experience. So we thought we'd treat her with some mealworms, and she was eating. That's a good sign. She's definitely going to recover. When I got back, you can see that bit that was just coming to the surface of her nostril. I managed to get some tweezers and pulled it out, and that's what was in her nostril. So she finally had a clear airway, and she seemed a little bit happier. But the vets did give us some aftercare, so they had some gauze soaked in betadine, and you just cut the gauze according to the size that you need, and I'm supposed to dab her nostril once a day up until it's healed. So I think I did this for about 4 or 5 days or so till it completely healed over. There wasn't any fresh blood. It started to scab over quite nicely. This was me giving it a go for the first time, and she was not having a bar of it. This was when we got back from the vets, and I think she was just over people touching her nose right now, but she remained a trooper. She let me wipe it and dab it, and we just really want to prevent an infection. You don't want that. But there we go, I put her back in an enclosure. She was giving me the good old evil eye. And then this was probably on the 4th day or so. She was a little bit more comfortable. I decided to disinfect her nose the last couple of days in her enclosure, just where she's a bit more chilled out. I put her in a position that was easy for me to access that side of her nose. And again, by that 4th, 5th day, she was an absolute legend. She was a professional at it. So she let me clean it with little dramas. But again, she is in an outside enclosure, so it is pretty important to make sure that nose, that nostril stays clean and doesn't get infected, because that will lead to more vet visits and more bills. And I try to clean her nose before I give her food, so her food's like a treat. So she got her beautiful salad with all the leaves. She absolutely loves her leafy greens. So we gave her a food, she's eating. That's a good sign as well. That's why it's a good sign to feed them after whatever sort of things you're doing, because if they're eating, you know, it's always good. They're not too stressed out. But there's a bit of a better look at her nostril probably a couple days after going to the vets, and you can see it's starting to heal, it's starting to get there. But it does take time, and you want to make sure you observe it every single day, just to observe any changes and just to make sure it's healing. And this is her nostril a day or so ago, so it's pretty much healed. She can breathe through it quite easily. It doesn't look the best with some of that dead skin around it, but that dead skin will eventually shed off. But here is her just the other day. We videoed this for this build video we're doing, and she was happy as Larry. You can see she's doing such a good job. So if your bearded dragon is in a similar situation and you just can't get it off yourself, even with all those things to do when you do have stuck shed and it's just not working, take your reptile to the vet, have some money set aside for that. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I really hope it did help you out. And if you did like the video, found it useful, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for future content, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.